Hello, Mr. Lizard. Okay, so I think I said it was chapter 10 last time. It's actually chapter 10 this time. There's a little goof there. We can blame the lizard. This chapter is, I believe it's called The Guardian of the Gates. Although I'm missing the first page. But we probably don't need it. Who are we kidding? Whom are we kidding? We're not kidding anyone. For he had lain among the poppies for a while, breathing in their deadly fragrance. But when he did open his eyes and roll off, he was very glad to find himself still alive. "I ran as fast as I could," he said, sitting down and yawning. "But the flowers were too strong for me. How did you get me out?" Then they told him of the field mice, presumably the medium-sized ones, and how they had generously saved him from death. Generously. It seems like the least they could do. And the Cowardly Lion laughed and said, "I have always thought of myself as very big and terrible, yet such small things as flowers came to nearly killing me, and such small animals as mice have saved my life. How strange it all is! But comrades, what shall we do now?" "We must journey until we find the Yoda... The Yoda? We must journey until we find the road of yellow brick again," said Dorothy, for the millionth time. "And then we keep on to the Emerald City." So the lion, being fully refreshed and feeling quite himself again, they all started upon the journey, greatly enjoying the walk through the soft, fresh grass. And it was not long before they reached the road of yellow brick and turned again toward the Emerald City, where the great Oz dwelt. And get this, he's a lizard. The road was smooth and well paved now, and the country was beautiful. So the travelers rejoiced in leaving the forest far behind, and with it the many dangers that they had met in the gloomy shades. Once more they could see fences built beside the road, but these were painted green. And when they came to a small house in which a farmer evidently lived, that also painted green. They passed by several of the houses during the afternoon, and sometimes people came to the doors and looked at them, as if they would like to ask questions. But no one came near them, nor spoke to them because of the great lion, of which they were much afraid. The people were all dressed in clothing of a lovely emerald green color, clearly the Pantone color of the year, and they wore peaked hats like those of the Munchkins. "This must be the land of Oz." Wait, I thought they were already in Oz the whole time, said Dorothy. "And surely we are getting near the Emerald City." "Yes," answered the Scarecrow. "Everything is green here." I kind of liked the blue place better. "Well, in the country of the Munchkins, blue was the favorite color. But the people do not seem to be as friendly as the Munchkins, and I'm afraid we shall be unable to find a place to pass the night." "I should like to eat something besides fruit," said the girl. "Like a taco? What did you have in mind?" "And I'm sure Toto here is nearly starved. Let us stop at the next house and talk to the people." So when they came to a good-sized farmhouse, I'm glad they didn't go to the bad-sized one. Just have to say it. I just have to. Dorothy walked boldly up to the door and knocked. A woman opened it, just far enough to look out, and said, "What do you want, child, and why is there a great lion with you?" "We wish to pass the night with you, if you will allow us," answered Dorothy. "The lion is my friend and comrade, and would not hurt you for the world." "Never mind the woodman with the axe." "Is he tame?" asked the woman, opening the door a little wider. "Oh, yes," said the girl. "He's a great coward, too. So he will be more afraid of you than you are of him." "Well," said the woman, after thinking it over and taking another peep at the lion, "if that is the case, you may come in, and I will give you some supper and a place to sleep." So they all entered the house, where there were, besides the woman, 2 children and a man. The man had hurt his leg and was lying on the couch in the corner. They seemed greatly surprised to see so strange a company. Yeah, a man with a hurt leg, that's a weirdie. And while the woman was busy laying the table, the man asked,
"Where are you all going?"
"To the Emerald City," said Dorothy, "to see the great Oz."
"Oh, indeed," exclaimed the man. "Are you sure that Oz will see you?"
"Why not?" she replied.
"Why, it's been said that he never lets anyone come into his presence. I've been to the Emerald City many times, and it is beautiful and a wonderful place, but I've never been permitted to see the great Oz, nor do I know any living person who has seen him." "Does he never go out?" asked the Scarecrow. "Never. He sits day after day on the great throne room of his palace, and even those who wait upon him do not see him face to face."
What good is the lizard, then? Also, how come they got this far before hearing about this? This seems like important news. "What is he like?" asked the girl.
"That is hard to tell," said the man thoughtfully. "You see, Oz is a great lizard, and he can take any form he wishes. So some say he looks like a bird, and some say he looks like an elephant, and some say he looks like a cat. I say he looks like a lizard. To others, he appears a beautiful fairy or a brownie."
What?
"A brownie? No! The lizard can turn into a brownie. What is this book?" "Or any other form he pleases. But who the real Oz is when he is in his own form, no living person can tell."
What if he's like a whoopee cushion? "This is very strange," said Dorothy. But we must try in some way to see him, or we shall have made our journey for nothing."
"Why do you wish to see the terrible Oz?" asked the man. "I want him to give me some brains," said the Scarecrow eagerly. "Oh, Oz could do that easily enough," declared the man. "He has more brains than he needs."
That's one way to put it.
"And I want him to give me a heart," said the Tin Woodman. "That will not trouble him," continued the man, "for Oz has a large collection of hearts of all shapes and sizes."
That's rather disconcerting.
"And I want him to give me courage," said the Cowardly Lion. "The Oz keeps a great pot of courage in his throne room," said the man, "which is covered with a golden plate to keep it from running over. He will be glad to give you some."
"And I want him to send me back to Kansas," said, guess who? Dorothy.
"Where's Kansas?" asked the man, in surprise.
I don't know,"
replied Dorothy sorrowfully.
"but it is my home, and I'm sure it's somewhere."
Maybe take geography class, Dorothy. "Very likely. Well, Oz can do anything, so I suppose he will find Kansas for you. First you must get to see him. That will be the hard task, for the Great Lizard does not like to see anyone, and he usually has his own way. What do you want?" he continued, speaking to Toto. Toto only wagged his tail, for, strange to say, he could not speak.
Oh, that's not really strange to say.
The talking lion is strange to say. Oh well. The woman now called to them that the supper was ready, so they gathered around the table and Dorothy ate some delicious porridge. Sorry. I need a moment. She didn't like the fruit, but she loves the porridge. And a dish of scrambled eggs and a plate of nice white bread, and enjoyed her meal. The lion ate some of the porridge, but he did not care for it. Good for him. Saying it was made from oats, and oats were food for horses, not for lions. Well, he had the courage to be pretentious. The Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman ate nothing at all. Toto ate a little of everything, and was glad to get a good supper again. The woman now gave Dorothy a bed to sleep in, and Toto lay down beside her, while the lion guarded the door of her room, so that she might not be disturbed. Okay. The Scarecrow and Tin Woodman stood up in the corner and kept quiet all night, although they could not sleep. This would be a great time for a mattress ad, if anyone wants to sponsor the lizard. The next morning, as soon as the sun was up, they started on their way, and they soon saw a beautiful green glow in the sky before them. "This must be the Emerald City," said Dorothy. As they walked along, the green glow became brighter and brighter, and it seemed that at last they were nearing the end of their travels. Yet it was afternoon before they came to the great wall that surrounded the city. It was high and thick and of a bright green color. In front of them, and at the end of the road of yellow brick, was a big gate, all studded with emeralds that glittered so in the sun, and even the painted eyes of the Scarecrow were dazzled by their brilliancy. There was a bell beside the gate, and Dorothy pushed the button and heard a silvery tinkle sound. I guess a tinkle sound would be like ting. Then the big gate swung slowly open, and they all passed through and found themselves in a high arched room, the walls of which glistened with countless emeralds. Before them stood a little man, about the same size as the Munchkins. He was clothed all in green, from his head to his feet. Okay? That would be all in green. Very good. And even his skin was of a greenish tint. At his side was a large green box. When he saw Dorothy and her companions, the man asked, "What do you wish for in the Emerald City?" "We came here to see the great Oz," said Dorothy. The man was so surprised at this answer that he sat down to think it over. "It has been many years since anyone asked me to see Oz," he said, shaking his head in perplexity. "He is powerful and terrible, and if you come on an idle or foolish errand to bother the wise reflections of the great lizard, he might be angry and destroy you all in an instant." This also is problematic leadership. "But it isn't a foolish errand, nor an idle one," replied the Scarecrow. "It is important. We have been told that Oz is a good lizard." "So he is," said the Green Man, "and he rules the Emerald City wisely and well. But to those who are not honest, or to those who approach him from curiosity, he is most terrible, and few have dared ask to see his face. I am the guardian of the gates, and since you demand to see the great Oz, I must take you to his palace. But first you must put on the spectacles." "Why?" asked Dorothy. Good question. "Because if you do not wear the spectacles, the brightness and the glory of the Emerald City will blind you. Even if you live in the city, you must wear the spectacles night and day. They are all locked on, for Oz so ordered it when the city was first built, and I have the only key that will unlock them." This sounds like government overreach, to be sure. He opened the big box, and Dorothy saw it was filled with spectacles of every size and shape. That is a lot of spectacles. Like a snowflake, no two spectacles are the same. All of them had green glasses in them. Yes, that's what a spectacle is. The guardian of the gates found a pair that would just fit Dorothy and put them over her eyes. There were 2 golden bands fastened to them that passed around the back of her head, where they were locked together by the little key that was at the end of the chain that the guardian of the gates wore around his neck. When they were on, Dorothy could not take them off had she wished, but of course she did not want to be blinded by the glare of the Emerald City, so she said nothing. This is her saying nothing. When the Green Man fitted the spectacles for the Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman and the Lion and even on little Toto, they were all locked fast with a key. What a great story. A dog wearing glasses. What a sight. The guardian of the gates put on his own glasses. Why weren't they on already? And told them that he was ready to show them the palace. Taking the big, guess what color, golden key from the peg on the wall, he opened another gate, and they all followed him through the portal into the streets of the Emerald City.